In this video, we're going to work on our data visualization skills and go through how to create a bar chart in Excel. This can be a very useful visualization technique when we have data that we want to display by month. And for this example, we have our annual sales report, and we have our months from January through to December, and we have the revenue associated with different products. And we want to look at an aggregated report for monthly revenue. To start off, we'll want to first create the data set that we'll be building our chart off. So we want just the month and the revenue for our chart. And we can build out a little table over here to the side. It'll make it easier for us to create our chart. So let's grab our months. And let's copy this formatting over. And then we want to aggregate our revenue by month. So we can use our SUMIF function to sum our revenue. Within this column, we find this month. And let's pull that down and format that for revenue. And here we now have our data set, which we can create our bar chart off of. Now, to create a chart, we'll select the data that we're interested in. So our month and our revenue data, and we'll select that entire array. We'll come up to our tab here of Insert. And if we scroll to the right, we can see that we have charts and the different chart types that Excel has to offer. And here we can see insert a column or a bar chart. So select on that, and we can see different options. And as we hover over them, we'll see Excel show us what that will look like. And we'll start with our standard column chart. And let's drag that over to the side of our data set. Now we have our data visualized over here, and now we can start working on formatting. The first thing we'll see is we have chart title. So let's double click on that and highlight, and we can change this to monthly revenue. And we see that we have extra decimal points over here. So let's click on that, right click, and we'll select Format Access. And in this tab with the axis options, we scroll down to this number option, and we can see decimal places is currently set to 2. Let's change that to 0 and hit enter. There we have removed the extra decimal places. If we wanted to change the color of our bars, we can click onto those and then go into this fill in line option. And here we can see that this is a dark blue, and so we can select this color here. And if our brand guidelines were green, we could change that to our green color, whatever color makes sense for our visualization. If we wanted to change how the months were displayed, if we click into this square over here, we can see the text direction. And here we could set a custom angle. So say we did want a 45-degree angle, we can hit -45. Now have a slightly slanted look to it. And if we wanted to remove some of the borders and the background grid lines, we could click on our chart. And in this fill in line table, we could go to color. And if we wanted to remove it, we could hit white. And we can see that our border has now gone. And if we click on the grid line, you can see that pops open some options for different grid line options. And if we want to make that more subtle, we could change that to a very light gray. If we wanted to make our text bigger, we could click into the text and then use some of the options up here in the Home tab. And if we wanted to make the title a little bigger, we could change that font size to 20. We could change our axis to, let's go with 10.5. And we could do the same thing for our bottom axis to make that a little bit easier to read. Now there's other options where we could click into around chart elements, and here we could add additional axis titles, we could add data labels, data tables, error bars, legends, and trend lines. So depending on the data set that you're working with, you could choose what is applicable and play around with these additional formatting options. So those are some of the basics to get you started. as you can see, that there's a lot of options within these different fields to play around with and customize your charts for whatever makes sense. There's also more chart design options up above to change the different formats and design types. But did want to just go through what some of the most common formatting features that you might want to know about bar charts to get you started with.